What's up, everybody? My name is Dana Harris with Young Gurus Math Tutoring, and I'm back again to drop some more math jewels. In this video, as you can see behind me, there are a couple circles, and those circles have some shapes inside them. You see a couple triangles and whatnot, but really what I'm talking about in this video is finding the intercepted arcs of inscribed angles. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at some inscribed angles, and then we're going to find the measures of the intercepting arcs on the circle that those inscribed angles are attached to. So let's get right into the examples. First things first, I want to tell you the rule. So the rule says that if I have an inscribed angle, notice the inscribed angle is angle HDW. Angle DWH is also an inscribed angle, and angle DHW are my three inscribed angles, right? But we're looking specifically at angle HDW, which actually, or you can just actually call it angle D as well, which actually is 42 degrees. And so the rule tells us that if you have an intercepting arc of this inscribed angle, which in this case would be arc HW, or we can name it arc WH, all right? That arc is twice the amount of that inscribed angle. So if I simply take this 42-degree angle and I multiply it by 2, I'll get the measure of arc HW. All right. So in this case, if angle D is 42 degrees, then this arc is going to be 42 times 2. I hope y'all can see that, which will be 84 degrees. Okay. So the measure of arc HW is 84 degrees. I don't think that's writing dark enough, so let's go ahead and write it like this. That would be 84 degrees. All right. Now, let's look at angle 2 or example 2. Now, one thing I want to point out too in example 1 is this is the center of that circle. How do I know that this is the center of the circle? Because you'll see that dot right there. That's not necessarily going to come into play in this particular example, but it will come into play in this next example. So now, what I've got to find out is I want to find the measure of arc HW, okay? Now, what we know is that since this is the center once again, then arc LW, remember a circle is 360 degrees, and the diameter of that circle is actually going through the center. So I know that this arc LHW is actually 180 degrees. So we can kind of write an equation for this. So we can say arc LH plus arc HW is equal to 180 degrees. How do we know that? Because LW is a diameter, meaning it goes directly through the center of that circle. Okay, and if it goes through the center of that circle, half of that circle is 180 degrees. So now, if angle M is 35 degrees, then arc LH has to be twice that amount. So arc LH is going to be 35 times 2. So we have 35 times 2 plus arc HW, which we don't know yet, equals 180 degrees. All right. So 35 times 2 is 70 plus arc HW equals 180 degrees. All right, so then now in order to find the measure of arc HW, we simply just subtract 70 from both sides. All right, well, subtract 70 there, and then arc HW is going to be 180 minus 70 is 110 degrees. So the measure of arc HW here is 110 degrees. All right, now that's the first two examples, but we're going to do a couple different types of examples. Now the next two examples are actually going to be where instead of us finding the measure of the intercepting arc, we're just going to find the value of the variable. All right, so keep in mind, remember, the arc is twice the measure of the inscribed angle. So when we look at example 3, if we're solving for x, we have angle DJH and we have arc DH, okay? And we want to find the value of x. Now, angle DJH is represented by 31x plus tree degrees. For those of you that haven't seen any of my videos, tree means the number 3. And if you want to know the story behind it, go watch the video called The Number Tree. So our equation here is, if I take 2 times this measure of angle DJH, I'll get 192 degrees. So our equation is 2 times 31x plus 3, or tree, equals 192. So we're simply going to use the distributive property. We're going to say 2 times 31x, which is 62x, plus 2 times 3 is 6, equals 192. And now we just solve. This is just a 2-step equation. So I subtract 6, that's going to give me 186. I hope so. Those cancel out. We get 62x. All right, 62x equals 186. I divide both sides by 62. And 186 divided by 62, x equals tree. All right, x is going to be 3 in that case. And you can double check. You can say, you can, substitute 3 for this expression 31x plus 3, and we should get 192. All right, last example. What we want to do is we want to find x again. Now, notice that segment SG is a diameter, okay, which means it goes directly through the center of the circle. So that means that arc SDG is equal to 180 degrees. So if we want to find x, what we can say is arc SD plus arc SG is equal to 180. All right, so we're simply going to take those expressions. I have 13x minus 10 plus 7x minus 10, and that equals 180. All right, in this case, since that equals 180, as a matter of fact, let me hold on a second. Let me write it a little bit to the left. So 13x minus 10 plus 7x minus 10 equals 180. All right, we're going to combine like terms and then solve this like a general multi-step equation. So 13x plus 7x gives me 20x, negative 10 minus 10, or negative 10 plus negative 10 is minus 20, equals 180. And now we solve that. Add 20 to both sides. That gives us 20x equals 200. Divide both sides by 20. And those cancel. X is equal to 200 divided by 20 is 10. I hope so. It does equal 10. So x equals 10 in this case. All right. Notice, keep in mind, remember, you have a inscribed angle, and then we have the intercepting arc. Okay. And remember, the inscribed angle is going to be half the measure of the intercepting arc, or the converse of that would be the intercepting arc is twice the value of the inscribed angle. So do me a great big favor. Thank you so much for watching. Follow me on Instagram at YoungGurus_Math Tutoring. Like and subscribe to this channel. Definitely hit that bell. I make videos every Monday. And subscribe. Share with a friend. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, Young Gurus Math Tutoring. I've got the solution to your math problems.